Perfect beauty and brain. The history of Hedy Lamarr. Today we're going to talk about a sexy actress who often appeared in movies from the 1930s to the 1940s. Apparently, she was the one who invented a technology that is familiar to us, Wi-Fi. Are you curious? Before you continue watching, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Lamarr was born in Vienna, Austria on November 9, 1914, with the real name Hedwig Eva Kiesler. She grew up as an only child in a wealthy Jewish family. Her father was a bank director who spoiled her a lot. He often took Lamarr for walks and introduced her to the operation of various machines such as printing presses and trams. Conversations and discussions with her father made Lamarr fascinated by the world of technology, machinery, and math. Evidently, at only 5 years old, she was able to disassemble and assemble her music box and learn how it worked. Meanwhile, his mother was a famous Jewish pianist at the time. She introduced her to art. From an early age, her mother enrolled her in ballet, piano, and acting classes later on in Vienna. It's no wonder that he was so interested in theater and film. Although her beauty would be nicknamed Bombshell in the future, her love life ended sadly. She was married 6 times. After doing the movie that brought her to fame, Ecstasy, she met Fritz Mandl. Ever since Lamarr's appearance at Sissy's show, he had feelings for her. Although her Jewish family did not approve of her relationship with Mandl, who had good relations with Hitler and Mussolini. In 1933, Lamarr married Mandl, a wealthy 33-year-old ammunition producer who sold his weapons to the Nazis. The marriage left Lamarr restrained. She could not continue her career as an actress. Mandl was a possessive husband. He made Lamarr his prisoner and even tried to buy every copy of the movie Ecstasy to thwart efforts to screen it. In 1937, Lamarr managed to escape Mandl's grasp by giving her maid a pill. While the maid slept, Lamarr escaped with her clothes and her bike to Paris. In 1939, Lamarr married Jean Markey and adopted a son named James. Unfortunately, their marriage only lasted for a year. 4 years later, she married an English actor, John Loder. They were blessed with 2 children, Denise born in 1945 and Anthony born in 1947. But their marriage fell apart. Lamarr remarried to Teddy Sitoffer, a band leader. Then to Texas Howard Lee, an oil businessman, and a lawyer, Louis Bowles. In 1941, it was known that Lamarr dated Charlie Chaplin and several other actors. Once Lamarr said, "My face has been a catastrophe for me. It has led me to tragedy and sadness for 5 decades. My face is a mask that I can't take off. I have to live with it all the time. I curse it," because her face did not lead her to eternal love and gender slavery in 1940. At the age of 16, she was discovered by director Max Reinhardt and brought to Berlin to learn acting. She got her first leading role in Reinhardt's theater production called The Weaker Sex. In 1930, she got a small role in her first German movie, Geld auf der Straße, or Money on the Street. Her acting skills were finally recognized in 1932 in the controversial Czech movie Ecstasy. The movie was the first to portray a woman's orgasmic activity. Many national leaders condemned this movie, including Hitler, who banned its screening. Pope Pius VI condemned it, and the Americans screened it on a limited basis. However, many thought Ecstasy was a great work of art at the time. The movie gained worldwide attention and made her popularity skyrocket. Her role in Ecstasy set the tone for Lamarr's roles in other films. When she escaped from her ex-husband, Mandl, she flew to Paris. Then she went to London in 1937 to meet Louis B. Mayer, the head of the famous Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studio, or MGM Studio. Coincidentally, she was on business in London at the time. Mayer, who was skeptical of Lamarr's abilities, offered her $125 per week on a 6-month contract. Lamarr declined his offer. Before Mayer returned to America, Lamarr came back to see him with a dazzling appearance. Their discussions eventually led to an agreement. Mayer would pay her $500 per week on a 7-month contract. The contract contained a condition that Lamarr change her name to the name we know today, Hedy Lamarr, taken from a famous actress, Barbara Lamarr. Mayer asked her to change her name to get rid of her reputation in the movie Ecstasy. Lamarr's first Hollywood movie was Algiers, which was released in 1938. The movie, directed by John Cromwell, tells the love story of a thief named Pepe Lomoko, played by Charles Boyer. Lamarr plays the character of a woman who mesmerizes with her glamorous appearance. Her beautiful face and acting skills manage to attract the attention of all moviegoers. Through Algiers, Lamarr's roles were limited in the future. During the 1930s through the 1940s, her face was seen in various movies such as 1939 Feet's Lady of the Tropics with Robert Taylor. In 1940, she acted with Clark Gable and Spencer Tracy in Boom Town. 2 years later, she starred with Tracy in Tortilla Flat, and in 1949 in Samson and Delilah. Producer Hal Wallace immediately chose Lamarr as the female lead of his classic film Casablanca in 1943. However, the role eventually went to Ingrid Bergman. She is considered the most beautiful woman in the world, with amazingly formed facial features, to the point that her beauty inspired Walt Disney's Snow White character created in the 1930s. Her acting career began to decline in the 1950s. Lamarr decided to leave MGM Studio and set up her own company. She became the first Hollywood producer at that time. Her last movie under MGM Studio was titled The Female Animal in 1958, actually when Lamarr got the role of Delilah in the movie Cecile B. DeMille's movie. Her popularity had already begun to fade. The movie, which also starred Victor Mature, told the tragic love story of a hero named Samson. Although the movie Samson and Delilah, 1949, gained great success at the box office, it had no effect on Lamarr's career. Neither did the other movies she starred in. Later in 1966, Lamarr released an autobiography entitled Ecstasy and Me. The book became a bestseller, but also a controversial book. The book contains her sensational sex life written in detail. Lamarr claimed that the ghostwriter had distorted the contents of the book. She tried to sue the publisher, but her efforts failed. She had another run-in with the law in the 1970s. She sued Warner Bros. For using her name without permission as a joke in Brooks's 1974 film Blazing Saddles. However, the case was settled out of court for an unknown amount. Today, Lamarr is not only known as an exotically beautiful actress. Through a documentary titled Bombshell, The Hedy Lamarr Story 2017, it reveals the other side of Hedy Lamarr as a researcher and inventor of the basic technology of wide-spectrum communication that became the forerunner of GPS, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi. The movie, directed by Alexandra Dean and produced by Susan Sarandon, was well received by the public. The movie shows a recording of Lamarr's voice talking about her life. "Inventions are easy for me to do. I don't have to work on ideas. They come naturally," she said. Behind her beauty, Hedy Lamarr was a clever woman. Her ability to develop things and innovate was ignored by her busy acting career. An entrepreneur and pilot, Howard Hughes recognized Lamarr's intelligence. He provided Lamarr with small tools used in his set trailers. When Lamarr had free time, she could innovate in her own home. She invented sequence traffic lights and a tablet that dissolves into water to create a sparkling drink similar to Coca-Cola. Hughes took Lamarr to his airplane factory. He showed her how planes were made and introduced her to the scientists at his factory. Hughes conveyed his desire to sell the fastest planes to the U.S. military. After returning from the factory, Lamarr bought a book on fish and birds. She designed a new airplane wing by combining parts of the fastest fish fins and bird wings. Hughes, who saw Lamarr's innovation, praised him. "You are a genius." Based on her concern after hearing the news that a boat with 80 children on board was sunk by a German submarine attack, she decided to help the Allies. On a night in 1940, when Lamarr attended a dinner party, she met George Antheil, who would later become her research partner. Antheil was known for his writings, experimental music compositions, and movie scores. They were both developers who shared the same goals and concerns about the war. Antheil said, "Hedy said that she did not feel very comfortable sitting there in Hollywood and making lots of money when things were in such a state." With the knowledge of ammunition to make weapons from her ex-husband Mandel, they created a device called a secret communication system. This system uses a frequency hopping method between radio waves that can hop to a new frequency together to transmit and receive the intended target. By using this system, enemies will have difficulty breaking the message, especially submarines. The new approach of using piano rolls as a medium to jump to 88 different frequencies is unique. Later in 1942, Lamarr and Antheil sought patents and military support for their invention. They secured a patent with us number 22200 and 922,387 in August 1942. Their invention was then handed over to the U.S. Navy. Although they appreciated and recognized its potential, they chose not to use it. Not until the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 was the technology fully adopted. After his invention was rejected, Lamarr wanted to join a new government organization, the National Inventors Council, or NIC, in Washington, which was formed in 1940. The NIC aimed to help identify, evaluate, and promote inventions that had the potential to benefit the military and national defense. Lamarr hoped that her potential could help improve military technology, but the NIC advised her to use her face instead of her brain. This phenomenon is called gender slavery, where people do not want to see the other side of a woman besides her beauty. Because of her sincere desire to help in 1942, she willingly kissed anyone who bought war bonds for $25,000. Although her action was reckless, with her help the NIC managed to earn a profit of $17 million. This incident actually hurt Lamarr's self-esteem, which is why she cursed her face. Before she withdrew from showbiz, she worked as a tabloid model in 1966. Lamarr became addicted to drugs when she met a famous doctor named Dr. Feelgood, or Max Jacobson. He often helped celebrities, including John F. Kennedy, to inject animal hormones and amphetamines to energize his patients. The side effect is that his patients will be addicted and dangerous to health. Plus, she was also addicted to plastic surgery to maintain her beauty. In those days, plastic surgery was not as sophisticated as it is now. Lamarr often gave advice to surgeons to improve surgical techniques, and her ideas were used in the general methods of plastic surgery in the future. Lamarr was also caught stealing in 1966 and 1991. Her last theft was at a pharmacy where she was caught taking eye drops and laxatives worth $20. However, she was never convicted. In 1953, Lamarr completed her naturalization process and became an American citizen. In her retirement years, she chose to live in the village of Castleberry, located in northern Florida. She often communicated with her children and other family members by phone. Lamarr died at the age of 85 on January 19, 2000 due to a failed plastic surgery that made her feel insecure. On the other hand, some say due to a heart attack. After her death, her invention gained traction. She and Anthell were given the Pioneer Award from the Electronic Frontier Foundation, or EFF, in 1997. In the same year, she was the first woman to receive the Buble-Nass Spirit of Achievement Award, which is the equivalent of an Oscar in the field of invention. Through her achievements, she was dubbed the mother of Wi-Fi,